about MVX plus. MVX plus is a blood test that measures 6 factors, the most important factors for chronic illness. And these 6 factors have been researched and studied over a few dozen. Over many years, there's a team led by Dr. James Otvos at LabCorp and another person, Dr. Bill Cromwell. And he's a lipidologist in Cleveland. And so they put together their brains and did a ton of research, and they came up with 6 factors. These 6 factors are related to what the founders of medicine said like 85, 90 years ago. And so when you have the truth, you can find that truth everywhere, right? Whether the truth is 85 years old or if it's 5 years old. So I'm starting to call it the universal truth regarding healthcare. So I got some books here. I'm going to show you some of these books. So the founders of medicine said you have to treat the cause of chronic illness, the mechanism, and to get rid of symptoms, you feed the organs. So there's 3 things you have to do. And then in my career, I came up with the 7-step blueprint to optimal health. So these are the things that you do, like the 7 steps are make sure the diet's right, especially protein. Most people are deficient in protein, which is super unfortunate. And then number 2 is increased mitochondrial function. Vitamin B1 is the best thing for that. And I discovered B1 last year because I had a gas leak at my house. It just about killed me. I went to the ER May 18th of 2024 with crushing chest pain, 8 out of 10, high blood pressure, couldn't breathe. I thought I was having strokes, left arm numb, left leg numb. And 10 days later, I started taking B1. Within 2 weeks, I was 95% better. And then all summer and fall, I did pretty good. And then December 7th of last year, I found the gas leak. So the B1 saved my life, even though the gas leak was probably getting worse and worse at my house. And it was outside, so nobody could smell it. Anyways, B1 is at step 2 of my 7-step blueprint to optimal health. Step 3 is drainage, which is make sure your liver's working good, kidneys, colon, lymphatic system, and then the organs of drainage like cleansing. That also includes sinuses, lungs, skin, but the primary ones are like colon, you can't be constipated. And then lymphatic system. So being like a herbalist nutritionist for 30 years, I'm like all about making sure the lymphatic system is working well. I got probably 12 or 15 different supplements for that. And so the next step after drainage, which is step 3, is step 4, cleaning out the intestines. This is where people get big fat parasites coming out of their body like this big. And it's been, I've had supplements that do that now since 2016, and they're fantastic. I think they're better than the drugs, anti-parasitic medications. And then step 5, after you clean out the colon, step 5 is cleaning out the rest of the body of immune challenges such as viruses, bacteria, fungus, small microscopic parasites. And then step 6 is detox, metals and chemicals. So you want to detox after you get the parasites out, because parasites hold on to toxins and Lyme and Candida and viruses and chemicals. Like, this is in the research. It's in the scientific research, so I'm not making this stuff up. So if you're trying to detox metals and chemicals, but you haven't got the parasites out, like, what's the point? You got to get those parasites out. And I'm talking big ones like this, or 6 feet. I've had people eliminate 6 foot ropeworms out multiple times, and then they put it in their bathtub and they take a picture and they send me the picture. So then step 7 is Lyme, which is intracellular organisms. So in 1980, when they discovered Lyme disease inside the cells, they're all excited because it was in the cells, which is kind of hard to find. But then they found out that there were other organisms in the cells too. So Candida can be in there, mold and mold toxins, and then a variety of other organisms. I'll name some off. There's Ehrlichia, Mycoplasma, Anaplasma, Babesia, Bartonella. So Babesia is a parasite, for example. So you can have small microscopic parasites. They're so small, they're in the cells. So I have really good herbs for that. And so in regular medicine, some people have Lyme. It's so bad they need antibiotics. And I've heard of people taking antibiotics for a year or more to get rid of Lyme. But there's other steps. There's steps 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if you do those earlier steps, then getting Lyme out is easier, and you'll have such a much better response that's permanent. If you skip the steps 1 through 6 and you just go after Lyme, but yeah, you're eating sugar, or you have parasites, or you got toxins, the Lyme will always be there. It won't ever go away permanently. So you got to like do this in this order. Now there are some people I've seen that are really pretty healthy, but they got bit by some insect, and it could be a tick, a mosquito, flea, any kind of biting insect can spread Lyme. And so I just help them with their diet, and then I make sure, and I put them on herbs for the Lyme at step 7, and they do really, really well. And there's all kinds of blood tests to measure this and figure this out. But the MVX Plus will give you like kind of the broad general picture. Do you have infections and inflammation? That's like one of the 6 factors. It's called glyc A. And this glyc A is a multi-marker. So it's like 4 or more chemicals that are measured in the body, in the blood, using NMR, which is a special machine. And so when these 4 things are high, then glyc A is high. But it's associated with all the inflammatory markers that everybody studies anyways. Interleukin 6 and TNF alpha, which is tissue necrosis factor, and C-reactive protein. So so I told somebody that they had high glyc A on their MVX Plus test. And they're like, oh, I need to check my C-reactive protein. It's like, wait, what? I just told you have high inflammation. So if you just check your C-reactive protein after that, you're kind of wasting your time and money, because we already know you got a lot of infection and inflammation. So anyway, so the 7-step blueprint is a way to handle the 6 factors of MVX. So the 6 factors of MVX, here's this one, it's glyc A at the top. And I'm sharing my screen on the other platform. Sorry, TikTok, but yeah, so the MVX Plus is $89. It's not very expensive at all. And then there are other labs that are quite expensive, and I have them and I run them on people. But with MVX Plus, it tells you go down the direction of toxicity, or go down the direction of infections and inflammation, or go down the road of like malnutrition. So if somebody has infection and inflammation, then I'm checking for total the total tox. I'm sorry, the total burden, which is organisms, and that is 500 and 542. So yeah, it's expensive, but we did MVX Plus, so we know that person really needs that. And if somebody has toxicity, let's say their small initial particle number is too low right there, then they need to do total tox burden, or they don't have to. And that one's, the price on that is $676 or something. So yeah, some of these tests are $500-$600. But yeah, I am selling and profiting from MVX. I am. And so like, yeah, $89. Wow, that's a huge profit. And I am selling it. And your doctor needs to sell it too. User 5382648596493. And if your doctor doesn't run MVX Plus, then that's quite a shame, because it is the best test for chronic illness, bar none, because it gives you the like where to go next, and then it tracks your progress. So it gives you a score 1 to 100, and all the other factors, the 6 factors, you get a score there. And my score used to be 55 back in January when it was first released, and then and now it's 26 because I got healthier. And so I just need to comment a little bit more on this. Your comment, he is selling and profiting from MVX. Like, you wouldn't say that to a doctor who's selling, statin drugs and they test LDL cholesterol, because they're doing that too. Or if I was selling Pepsi, you wouldn't say, oh, that's bad, you're profiting off of selling Pepsi. No, I'm selling the best stuff on the market for healthcare. I have the best supplements, I have the best care, I get the best results, and it's all trackable with MVX. It's all trackable. You get your score. So user number, whatever, you need to run MVX, and you can run it. Yeah, there you go. And you can run it from my website. Upper right corner says MVX test. My website is the nhcaa.com. So, hi. Yes, I'm not a medical doctor. I do not ever pretend to be one. I would not ever associate myself with the medical field, because they kill. There's different studies, but there was one back 20 years ago saying that medicine kills 250,000 Americans per year. So there's no way I would never associate myself with that profession. And then another study from Dr. Gary Null, he said 700 to 900,000 people a year. And then I've said this on Twitter before, and other people would comment on that and say, oh, but I don't think it's, hundreds of thousands. It's probably 40,000 or 90,000. So, yeah, that's the point, is that, Right. I'm not a medical doctor at all. Don't ever mistake that. Don't ever get that confusion. Okay, Corey is a good question. Which markers most indicate need for B1 and why? The last four, citrate, valine, leucine, and isoleucine, are related to B1. And why is that? So citrate is the beginning of the Krebs cycle, which is inside the mitochondria where your body makes energy really well. And when you're deficient in B1, that doesn't work. It's like you don't have any fuel in your car, for example. So B1 actually is in charge of 5 different biochemical reactions in the body, in the mitochondria. So 5. And and so the other ones are valine, leucine, and isoleucine. Those are branched chain amino acids. So those are amino acids that are all kind of branched. They're put together because they have a branch coming off their carbon chain. And so they go up when you can't digest protein. Simple as that. And here they are down here. And so when you have these amino acids high in the blood, then you end up with fatty liver. And there's like awesome, incredible science about this. And when you have fatty liver, then what? Then you have hypertension and overweight, obesity, visceral fat, insulin resistance, and the beginnings of diabetes, type 2 diabetes. So yeah, so B1 fixes that. The valine, leucine, and isoleucine come down in your blood, then you can defat. Your liver can defat. So that's why B1 is the most important nutrient, I think, of all nutrients. And of course, if you say, well, it's iron or it's oxygen, like that, yeah, sure, I'll agree with you. But as far as like taking a pill, there's most people are deficient in B1. And also, but if you're anemic and you don't have enough iron, yeah, you got to take iron and B1, So anyways, the small HL particle number is indicative of toxicity. So I've had a few medical doctors on social media sort of like try to call me out for selling detox programs, but like it's one of the most important things you can possibly do. And I've been through a lot of detox programs myself, and thankfully I'm in this profession because I had mold in my old office, and I had this gas leak at my current house, which I fixed last year, and that was super toxic from these I call them unlucky exposures. So the detox program saved my life, and I help other people get better and better by detoxing them. So, but you can find, and I had a new patient a few months ago who she told me that she's been detoxing for years. And when I got her small HL particle number back on the MVX Plus test, it was 21, which is incredible. It means she's super healthy, and I could see that she's been detoxing. It tells you, this test tells you that you've done your homework or not. And then other people, like they have a lot of inflammation and chronic infections, and glyc-A is sky high. And I tell them, like, look, your glyc-A is crazy high. And here's another scenario. There's people who they're malnourished because they're eating sugar and no meat, not enough protein. And so their branched chain amino acids are low. And I tell them, and they're talking to me about Lyme or parasites. And it's like, wait, no, you're malnourished. Like, you got to focus on malnourishment, stop eating sugar, eat more meat. And I actually have like a slide I want to share. Sorry, on TikTok, I don't have this. TikTok doesn't talk with my eCam live, so I can't have you in my studio. So, oh, Tim, hey, Timothy, taking the test next week. Awesome. Will this help find a solution to support a person with gout? Yes. Had 2 attacks 2 weeks on carnivore. So with the carnivore diet, red meat is a trigger. So is pork and wine, alcohol. These are triggers. And but the main cause is fructose, especially from processed food. But if you're not eating fructose and you're still getting this gout attack, then I'm thinking there's a kidney dysfunction. Kidneys flush out the uric acid and the other components that make up gout stones that then settle in joints. So we'll see what the MVX Plus says. Probably high glyc-A, to be honest. So why do some people with unhealthy diets never develop chronic disease? Warren Buffett is a good example. That's an excellent question. I know he owns shares in McDonald's, so he goes to eat at McDonald's. It's ridiculous. And he's overweight, and he's like 90 million years old. And I know a guy that in my hometown, he's in his 80s. He eats sugar all the time. And he's a little bit overweight, but why is it? It's because their MVX Plus test would be really good. they would have very little infection, very little inflammation, very little toxicity. Their mitochondria are working well. Their B1 status is fine, and they're digesting their protein really well, and they're eating enough protein. So it all comes down to MVX plus this blood test. It's amazing. So that is what, and I've run this enough times. It like blows me away. Like there are people that I thought were healthy, and they were devastatingly unhealthy, and MVX showed me. And other people I thought that they were very like unhealthy, and they were very healthy, and MVX shows us. It's really amazing. On TikTok, I got a bunch of people calling me a chiropractor. Yes, I'm a chiropractor. And I want to talk about debates and arguments. The lowest form of an argument is where you attack the person's character or license or, color of their skin, color of their eyes, whether they have hair or not. So that's what they're doing on TikTok right now. They're saying he's a chiropractor. Yeah, dude. Why don't you got to increase your ability to argue. So the lowest form of argument is called ad hominem attack. And that's what these TikTokers are doing. They're ad hominem attacking. So it's kind of lively and fun to see that, to see the childishness. Is it safe to detox while breastfeeding? No, don't do that. You got to wait. Corey, do you recommend against fruit sugar if paired with high protein? No, it's fine to have fruit sugar with high protein. I see a lot of people talk about the sugar diet lately. Yeah, the sugar diet, don't. I just had one person tell me, yeah, okay, that's a good point. So I had a guy, he ran MVX Plus months ago. He reran it, and he was way worse. So I emailed him. I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm doing the sugar diet. Okay, stop. MVX Plus tells us the sugar diet doesn't work. They have an argument deficiency. Yeah. I want to share the screen here. I'm going to go over one of the results of somebody who has come in to see me. And it's super interesting to see what's going on with this person. Okay, so I'm sharing the screen right now. And I'm going to see if I can pop there. You can see me too at the same time. All right, cool. So check this out. 64-year-old female, malnourished. That's her problem. And here's how I found out. The MVX is really low. At the bottom three, her valine, leucine, and isoleucine are 104. And then it says less than 50 and less than 30. So it should be 200, 110, 55. And she's at half for like all of them. All three are half. So they're crazy low. And she's complaining about what she calls residual C. diff. So last fall she had chronic diarrhea, and it was devastating. And she took a bunch of antibiotics or whatever, and it mostly went away. But here it is, February, March, April, May. She's getting worse, and she's not getting better. And she's saying, I got residual C. diff. And hair loss, nausea, dizzy, chills, headaches, anemia, low blood pressure. And when I got this MVX test back, I said, oh, look, you're malnourished. And her brother was in the room. And he points at her, finger pointing. Yeah, you eat too much sugar and not enough meat. And I'm like, boom, yeah. They're both like in their 60s, and they love each other, and he cares for her. So he's probably been telling her, like, quit eating sugar and eat more meat. So that's what she needs right there. And MVX tells us, which is amazing. When you look at glyc-A, it's 327, and it should be less than 300, but it's not 400. It's not 500. So I wouldn't call it C. diff. And then this HDL particle number is 13.9. It should be up at 19. So she's got some toxicity. But the main thing is she's malnourished. So there you go. There's that, which is pretty amazing. I'm gonna stop the share on that. Let me see if I can I do another one? Let's do let's do this one. This is pretty interesting. Current patient and chronic back pain, low back pain, right at the kidneys. And then digestive problems, eating too much bread, high carb diet, and a variety of other symptoms. So I found parasites, and I put them on parasite supplements. B1, which fixes a lot of digestive symptoms, kidney support, and then lumbrokinase, which reduces fibrin, which reduces inflammation. So here's his results, 3 weeks difference with MVX. His overall score was 60, which is bad. and now it's 42. So that's amazing. He dropped it that much, 18 points in 3 weeks. And so his glyc was 527. It should be below 300. He dropped it 200 points in 3 weeks. So it went from 527 to 327. And he was feeling so much better. All of his back pain was gone. His energy was up. And then you can see the small axial particle number, which is 10.6. It should be 19. It should go higher. In 3 weeks, it went up to 15.7. So incredible results in a very short period of time. And then the metabolic malnutrition index, MMX, you want it to be upper 40s, lower 50s. And his score was, it bounced up. It went from 46 to 54. That's the thing about the malnutrition aspect. It can bounce around. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it there. His main problems were actually bolded right there. You can see where it's bolded. His main problems were toxicity and then infection, inflammation. So that's pretty awesome. Do I wear makeup? No, I don't wear makeup. I'm just healthy, I guess. I don't wear makeup. Okay, let me get rid of this screen. Entire screen, current application, eCam Live. I want to go back to camera. There we go. I'm gonna get rid of that screen and screen. There you go. Cool, we're back. How do you get the blood test? The MVX Plus blood test? Well, you can order it from any doctor. Any doctor can order it from LabCorp. It's number 123601. And then you can get it from my website. At the upper right corner, it says MVX test. And my website is the nhcaa.com. You can just search me online, search my name, Darren Schmidt, or Dr. Darren Schmidt. But yeah, you can. Any doctor should run this. Every doctor should run it. I even think plastic surgeons should run this, because you have somebody who has like really poor health, and then they're getting surgery, and they're not going to recover as well because they're eating sugar, and you can address all those things to recover faster and better with MVX Plus. So get back to Corey. Corey's got good questions and comments. Fruit makes me feel great, so I try and get plenty though through the day, but I also get well over 100 grams of protein per day with veggies. Yeah, that's awesome. Doing high dose B1 currently and about to start Biocytin. Biocytin is incredible. I've seen that do incredible changes, make incredible changes in the body. I want to say that when I was hardcore carnivore in 2019, I was eating 1.5 pounds of meat just for lunch, and I had breakfast and dinner. So I was eating 2 pounds of meat plus every day. And I craved fruit once a month. So I had, let's say, 5 oranges or 5 apples once a month. And then I had iceberg lettuce, 6 heads in the year. And I had about 6 or 10 bags of granola in the year. Otherwise, it was all meat. And it was great. I loved it. Then I realized, well, I should eat more veggies. And so now my diet is about 90% to 95% meat. As a matter of fact, today for dinner, I had 2 T-bone steaks. And then for lunch, I had 3 egg omelet at a restaurant. But that included hash browns but whatever else at a restaurant. So, but yeah, 2 T-bone steaks for dinner. Yeah, loved it. Oh my gosh, Jill, my hair turned gray. It did, didn't it? And it has a lot to do with that gas leak, I think. Plus, I don't know. I'm just getting older. I'm just getting older. How often should someone be in ketosis? I think you should be in ketosis multiple times in the year. And at the minimum, it'd be like 2 weeks in the year. And that could be like 2 weeks, like at the end of the year, for example. It doesn't have to be, spread out throughout the year. But I mean, some people, I prefer personally be in ketosis most of the month, for example. But that's the basis of our physiology, is high glucagon, low insulin. And so when you're in ketosis, your glucagon is up and your insulin is down. But then insulin is still necessary, especially for women, for hormones, and for men and women, to make glycogen for the muscles, which is sugar for the muscles. So I think when ketosis became popular 10 years ago or 8 years ago, people just said go in ketosis, and they never said cycle in and out. They just said stay in it. And but you want to cycle in and out. That's my point. Most people. Yeah, what form of vitamin B1 is best? Benfotiamine is for the body, and TTFD is for the brain. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Jill. I look healthy. now. Whereas in January and last year, I did not look healthy because I had that gas leak. And I have terrible before and after pictures, like my before pictures. What I did in February and March was 18 days in the sauna at more than 4 hours a day, 4 hours and 15 minutes a day for 18 days. And so that detoxed the gas out of me. It was like hardcore. Um, Cycling in and out sounds much smarter and safer. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to go to TikTok. I got to answer some TikTok questions. They're pinging me. How do you manage sugar craving with parasites? You get the parasites out. Craving sugar at night. Get the parasites out and the candida. Yeah. Para 1 and 2 from Cellcore, fantastic. And then Para 3 and 4 from Cellcore. And don't forget, Biocidin is, I can't say enough good things about Biocidin has been on the market for, 30 years? Same formula. I just found out about it 2 years ago. I wish I had it 20 years ago. It would have been like Superman, fixing all kinds of problems. Do I recommend checking acid levels for protein digestion? Yeah. The best way to fix it is B1. Doctor, I need your help all day. I've been having burning diarrhea and don't know what to do. You got to get some, you got to find a local person who's holistic. It can figure out like why. So it could be parasites, bacteria, and they could be hiding out in the colon. They could be hiding out somewhere north of the colon. You got to get some urgent care there. Do you think doing coffee enemas is vital for health? This is from Applauser225. No, I don't. I've never done one myself. I think that they're good, and I think they were fantastic in the 1950s. I think they were one of the best healing mechanisms, 70 years ago. And there's books about it. Look at all my books. Dr. Gerson, he used it, and it was great. And people do it now, and it's great. It's really good. But it's not vital. And if you're really sick and you use it and you get better, keep using it. Best mold supplement for detox and blasting it for good. Well, keep in mind the 7-step blueprint. And mold is kind of in there throughout the 7 steps. But the best supplement is called Biotoxin Binder from Cellcore. The next one is called Carboxy from Cellcore. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of Cellcore. When they came out, changed my career. I'd been practicing from 1997. They came out in 2017. 20 years of struggle. And I was getting better results than conventional medicine with their drugs. But when Cellcore came out, that's when people started really turning around really quickly. So, yeah, mold. And I took Biotoxin Binder 2 per day for 7 years. Because I was in that moldy office for 13 years. And in 2016, I thought I was dying. Oh my God, I had heart pain and swollen ankles and high blood pressure. I saw a cardiologist. I got EKG. And terrible. And then I read this book, Dr. Roy Lee from Soilless Supplement. He founded Standard Process in 1929. And there's an article in this book he wrote an article in 1958, and he described my symptoms. And the description was not about the cause being mold. The description was the mechanism being lactic acidosis, which is now known as mitochondrial dysfunction. So, yeah. So there's that. Okay, I'm skipping TikTok. You got to ask me better questions. Yes, love Standard Process. Okay. I can get into ketosis quickly, easily, but don't think I'm getting fat adapted. Right, because you got to be in it long enough. But again, you can actually test that with the Keto Mojo. So fat adaptation means that your body is burning fat, so it's making fat and burning it. So you can start making fat within, let's say 3 days of a fast, or let's say a week or 2 of low carb dieting. But that doesn't mean that you're actually using that fat. So it may take 4 to 6 weeks to achieve that. So the way you measure that is with a blood test at home called Keto Mojo, which is like $40. And you got a ketone strip that you stick into the Keto Mojo, and then you got a glucose strip. and then you get the GKI, glucose ketone index. So you got to do some math there, which is glucose divided by 18 divided by ketones. And if your score is below 9, then you're fat adapted. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up. Yeah. So somebody had a good question. Oh, recommend saunas for mild detox? Yeah, but you got to do it right. You got to do it for long enough. Now, when I was detoxing mold in 2016, I did the sauna for a half hour 3 times a week. I don't think it really helped me that much. But when I did the sauna 18 days at 4.5 or 4 hours 15 minutes, it really helped me. And I was taking niacin, high doses of niacin, because you get that niacin flush, and your skin turns red and all that, and you get hot. That means the toxins are at your skin. That's why your skin's red. Your blood is flushing to your skin. So then you get into the sauna and you're sweating it out. That's how that works. So Deanne, you said I did coffee enemas daily for 3 months when diagnosed with TNBC, sauna, keto, etc., and more. That's awesome. I hope it helped you. But what's TNBC? Question: after having your gas leak and your resulting health issues, it's a good idea for us to get a gas leak detectors. Carbon monoxide detectors, yes. Mold detectors, radon. Yeah, test for mold and radon. And there's a device, it's in my bedroom over there. It's called the Air Night. Air Night. Night is KNIGHT. It's $125 on Amazon, and it measures VOCs, volatile organic compounds, carbon dioxide, particles small, particles large, carbon dioxide, not carbon monoxide, and humidity. So you got to make sure that all that's good. But radon, you got to get a radon test at Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, depending on your where you live. Triple negative breast cancer. Oh yeah. So Deanne, triple negative breast cancer. That's the bear right there. That's the devil. So for sure, that's awesome. I'm glad you got through that. And then absolutely no sugar, right? You're in ketosis, but I have a neighbor. She had triple negative breast cancer, and she's in the Dayton area, Dayton, Ohio. And she was going to Ohio State Medical Center in Columbus. And there were 3 women or 4 women all at the same time. They all started their triple negative breast cancer treatment. And she had this amazing story. She said that she woke up in the middle of the night, and the Grim Reaper was behind her with his hand on her shoulder, like ready to take her. And this is her story. I'm just repeating her story. And she said she had to make a decision right then and there if she's going to survive or not. And she decided to survive. And so that morning when she woke up, she was scared and she goes, "What do I need to do?" "Oh, I'm going to stop sugar." That's the only thing she did. The other 3 women did not make it, and she did. So stopping sugar is super important. And that was, 12 years ago. And she's still doing well. She's doing very well. So, yeah, okay, Deanne. Oh my gosh, 7+ years ago, and they told you would die if you didn't do chemo, which you didn't do, but you did all the other things. 18 net grams of carbs per day, 100 grams of fat, 40 grams of protein. Yeah, that's awesome. That's perfect keto diet. So it's amazing how, like, I'm going to share this screen again and go back to the 7 steps. So when you look at the 7 steps, step 1 is diet, and then step 7 is detox. So keto is step 1, and then detox is step 6. And like, maybe, I don't know if you did parasite cleansing, if you got rid of Lyme, right? Like, there's other factors that you may or may not have had. Did lasting clean coffee enemas, yeah. So there's other factors too, like lymphatic congestion in step 3. So I'm just saying, great job. You did a great job, and there's more stuff to do if you want to keep improving your health. So if you run the MVX test right here, hopefully all these things are normal. Like, hopefully your metabolic vulnerability index score is low, and all these other things are normal. So you can check that out, and then just keep improving your health. Yeah, artemisinin is. I'm a huge fan of artemisinin from MediHerb. Is I sell it from MediHerb, and that comes from wormwood, and that kills off all kinds of organisms too, but not like worms like this. It'll kill off all kinds of other microscopic worms. Oh my gosh, here's another one. EB Gage. I'm a triple negative breast cancer survivor from 2012. Had chemo, radiation, and 6 surgeries all in a year and a half. Okay, good. I'm glad you made it through that. And but yeah, regardless of the status of your health, run MVX and see what's your next step. And then MVX can guide you down the right path. So if you took a lot of artemisinin, we could guess that your glyca is normal. I'm just going to guess. Here's glyca, that's infection and inflammation. And then if you did a lot of detoxing, then your small HDL particle number might be normal, which is great. Now, the keto diet actually can cause a B1 deficiency, and that's in the scientific literature. And since the protein is so low, it can make your amino acids low. So that might show up as you might be malnourished, right? I'm just hypothetical here. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just giving you scenarios that I see that in the holistic fields, there's people that are super like on top of the latest research, as I am, and then my viewers are, right? We're talking about the same stuff, right? We talk about keto, detoxing, parasites, mold. We talk about the right stuff, but there's more. There's the B1, there's the malnutrition, there's the protein digestion. So the MVX has expanded our view on holistic healthcare. Even I've been at this 30 years, and MVX has opened up my view on like, oh my gosh, I've been missing malnourishment. I've been missing B1. I've been missing toxicity for some people, So it's really exciting. It's so cool to have this. Here at Fractal, I have gout for more than 20 years. I started taking AC carbamide and Arginex, which are amazing. You said in other video that has to be taken for 1 year and a half, or can be more time if it's still getting flare-ups. Well, are you getting better from it? How long have you been taking it for? And yeah, it could take 6 months or more before you start to feel better. Absolutely make sure you're off of sugar. And then there's other supplements too, like fast food, for example, fast food from Standard Process. Okay, back to Deanne. Yes, I think that's what's happening now, malnourished and also dealing with mold. Yeah, mold causes cancer. That's known. That's in the literature too. Yeah, Roshan. Hey, Roshan. Not sure if you already said that. Is MVX Plus different from MVX? Yeah. MVX, the test, MVX only gives you the 3 indices, whereas MVX Plus gives you the 3 indices plus 6 factors. So you got to make sure you get the MVX Plus because it's the factors that you're actually like trying to change. Here's a question from Nance. Were you sleepy and brain fogged, cognitively compromised while exposed to mold? Oh, is that to me or is that somebody else? Body odor musky, that would be mold. I'll just talk about when I had mold, I was not cognitively problematic. It was my heart and circulation and digestion and body temperature, gallbladder, thyroid, swollen ankles. But luckily, it wasn't my brain. But other people, oh my gosh, it can cause Alzheimer's. I'm sure of it. Absolutely. And I had many people tell me about their spouse who they walk into the moldy part of the house and they come back and they can't remember anything. They start asking the same question 3 times in a row. Like mold mold is trying to kill you. So, doc, what can be done for burning diarrhea? You got to go see a medical doctor. Go get some antibiotic or something. That's an acute problem. I don't specialize in acute problems. I specialize in chronic complex illness. I'm going to say it again. I specialize in complex chronic illness, not acute problems. Now, if you've had this for 2-3 months, and you were to see me, I could probably give you some really good answers. I'll tell you a story. I went to Mexico, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I was at a resort and I was doing good. I was there for 5 days. And then the last day, we're going to get on the shuttle to go to the airport. I had breakfast. And on the shuttle, I'm like, something's not right. I feel a little bit nauseous. Now I'm at the airport and then I have diarrhea, or not yet. I didn't have diarrhea at the airport, but it was a large, weird, fast bowel movement. Oh, man, it's just troublesome just thinking about it. So now I'm on the plane and it's like, okay, I hope I don't throw up. I made it home and I had diarrhea for 3.5 days. And so I was trying a bunch of different supplements. And the bottom line is, one morning I woke up, I was like, you know what? I just need Para 1 from Cellcore. So I took 10 that morning. And by 1 o'clock, I had a normal bowel movement. So it was a parasite causing the diarrhea. And it was fixed in 6 hours with the right supplement. So sometimes there's a home run. But I don't know what you've tried. I don't know who you've seen. I don't know what. So I can't just answer the question how to fix burning diarrhea, because there's a lot of different causes for that. And back to Corey, B1 is unbelievably underrated. It is. My doctor had no clue about it years ago when I first brought it up. Yeah, it took me years to finally try it after a complete health crash. Same with me. I carried benfotiamine for 15 years and I barely ever used it, but then it saved my life last year with the high dose. And I realized, oh my gosh, this is the most important nutrient. And like nobody talks about it except for there's really only 5 people that talk about it on YouTube, and I'm one of them. And there's Dr. Eric Berg, Elliot Overton, and then a few other people. Where can I order ivermectin? Just get that online. I don't have a good better. So look, I'm a chiropractor. I don't study drugs. Your question is, does shipping these in 100 degrees plus neutralize the active ingredients? I don't know. Google that. I don't have an answer for you. And I'm telling you, I don't study drugs. I don't waste my time with that. There's literally 1 million medical doctors in the United States. You can ask a million doctors, hey, can I get ivermectin shipped at 100 degrees? I'm the nutrition guy. I'm the herbal guy. There's not many herbal nutrition people like me on the planet. Ask me herbal stuff, not drug stuff. So wait, Corey, I was in the ER multiple times with similar symptoms to me. Nobody in the ER even mentioned B1. Still wild. Corey, what was your cause though? Was it mold or was it toxicity? What was that? Eric says I use nutritional yeast as a form of B1. Yeah, that's fine. It's very low dose, and other B vitamins. So the other B vitamins meaning like a multi B vitamin. It's a very low dose. You might need to take high doses of B1 independently, depending on a variety of factors. I have several videos about B1 on YouTube. I have a B1 course also. Okay. Here's somebody saying I'm working with Turf says I'm working with Dr. Amanda. Yeah, Dr. Amanda is a PharmD. She's in my office. She's been with me 12 years, 13 years. And we all do the same nutritional work. We all do muscle testing. And we talk with each other on what we learned to educate each other on new discoveries, which is a lot of fun. So, Corey, you're in there for malnourishment, living in mold. Have had a long-term candida overgrowth that wasn't addressed for about 2 years post-viral. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So I want to share. I got 2 more slides I want to share. And this one. Okay, cool. This one is what I made from It's from the 1930s, and the founders of medicine said, "Here's how you address chronic illness. You do 3 things. Number 1, treat the causes. Number 2, address the mechanism, which is now known as mitochondrial dysfunction. Back then it was called lactic acidosis. And then the third step is get rid of symptoms by feeding the organs." And okay, so hear me out on this. The last circle, the symptoms, is what patients ask doctors. They say, hey, I got these symptoms. Get rid of these symptoms, which is logical, right? You should as a patient. You want your symptoms to go away. And then you have doctors saying, okay, here's a drug for your symptoms, and here's a lab test for your symptoms. And most of medicine is hanging out in the symptoms category, meaning they're diagnosing symptoms, they put them together as a collection, and they call it a disease, and they drug the symptoms, they test the symptoms with labs, blah, 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 symptoms, symptoms, symptoms. But they're not talking about mechanisms, they're not talking about the causes. But let me show you this next slide on the other platform. Sorry, TikTok, but it's not on your platform. Here are the 4 things that MVX Plus really measures are citrate, which is mitochondrial dysfunction. That's right here under mechanism. And then Sharon says, I see Dr. Taggy. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then back to the graphic. So the causes, there are 3 major causes. Toxins, which is measured by small HL particles in MVX+. Glyc-A, which measures pathogens. And then the branched chain amino acids measure the excess sugar intake. It's like 1 for 1. It's amazing how MVX Plus measures these 4 things right here in the red font. And whereas all of medicine is like hanging out over here under symptoms. It's like, no. The doctors talk about mechanisms and causes. And you're using symptoms as a tracker to make sure people are getting better. It's so cool to have this blood test. So there you go. I just wanted to show you that because it revolutionizes all of medicine. It flips everything upside down. Gabriella says, what do you recommend for house mold testing? Just go to, you can get a mold test at Home Depot. But if you want to do it the right way without any mistakes, you hire a professional and they capture air samples. And actually you can get a test kit that captures air samples too. And then you send that to the lab. So, geez, Corey, that's awesome. You and Elliot Overton have saved my life. B1 addressing the candida toxicity. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm scared of keto because of how good fruit makes me feel. What to do? Want to do MVX. Yeah, with keto, just take your time with that. And when you attempt it, you have to be confident. Be confident first that you're ready to take it on instead of pushing yourself to do that. Keto is like, it's just, there's several drastic things you can do with your health to make it better. High dose B1 is drastic. Biocidin is drastic. The carboxy from Cellcore, drastic. Keto, drastic. Carnivore diet, drastic. I think these are my opinions. And so you can't do all those all at once. All those things I just listed, you got to take those one at a time. Would you use supplements like Para-1 to clear out the system after killing candida? Yeah, for sure. Remember the 7 steps, Douglas. So when you get the parasites out, it helps get rid of the candida. Yeah, I've had a lot of histamine and die-off after switching to keto and adding antifungals. Right, you got to do the 7 steps. Here, I'm going to show it to you again. So candida and mold are kind of throughout the 7 steps. I don't have like step 9 for candida. It's in step 5, really. It's mostly in step 5. And a little bit of step 7, because step 7 is intracellular organisms. Candida can be in the cells. Please turn your volume up. Want me to turn my volume up? Testing. Let me go to this. Let me go to, give me one moment. Just do a technical thing here. Volume. Oh, here we go. I'm kind of in the middle. I'll bring it up a little bit. MacBook 2 Pro. Yeah, good. I turned up a little bit. Thanks. Oh yeah. Deanne says ERMI test for mold. Right. ERMI, ERMI test for mold. And then Corey says, when I was in the ER with B1 deficiency, I was making tons of ketones. I think any carbs I was eating was going to lactic acid. Yeah, for sure. It sounds like that. Yeah. Roshan, any guidance on when to actually go to a regular doc? Yeah, if you don't get better, or if your problem is so acute that you need to have it addressed. It depends on the condition. Golden seal for mold? Not really. No. Golden seal, there's a lot of like antimicrobials, but the thing with mold is you want to get the mycotoxins out. So it's more about the detoxing and cleaning the body out. And then the mold and candida have no place to grow because your body is clean and your tissues are viable. These organisms live off of dead tissue. Hey, Kevin. After following the 7-step blueprint for a little over 2 years, I have an MVX score of 18, which is amazing. I take B1 daily. Right. You had quite the experience of cleansing. What about ropeworm? How do we get rid of it? Para 1 from Cellcore. That's how you get rid of ropeworm. Yeah, Kevin, I have your MVX. I have your MVX test. If you would allow me to show everybody your MVX test, I can get that in like 5 seconds. Yeah, just put a comment like, yeah, you'll allow me to show your MVX test and your story. I want to tell your story because it's pretty amazing. Yeah. Mold first or parasites to be removed. Can't see the steps. Yeah. The you can start detoxing the mycotoxins. Okay, cool. Kevin, give me a second. So you detox mycotoxins at the same time of getting rid of the parasites. So I detoxed mycotoxins in 2017, 2018, and then I did Para 3 from Cellcore, and I got 50 parasites out, and I felt so much better. And I continued getting the mold out for 7 years total, and I continued using blood tests to verify that it was coming down, and it did. It did come down. Okay, cool. I'm gonna look for this Kevin's blood test or MVX test because it's really incredible. I got it right here, so I'm gonna share my screen. Sorry, TikTok. TikTok's got to start stepping up to the plate here, and they got to allow me to share on Ecamm Live. All right, here we are. So Kevin, look, I made the slide all about you. His Apple Watch waking him up in the middle of the night saying, hey, do you want to call 911? Because the way the heart was acting. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. In the middle of the night. Carpet layer since age of 13, right? I hope I got this right. So if you're a carpet layer and you're pulling up old carpet, what's on that carpet? Cat pee and poop, dog pee and dog poop. Like that's the job. So with these heart symptoms, it turns out it was parasites. So Para 1 and 2 from Cellcore, absolutely fantastic. And then look at his score, 18. It's right here. 18. Oh, let me get rid of this one graphic. Right. 18 is amazing. So top out of 350 people, Kevin, you're in the top 6 maybe. And then the inflammation vulnerability index is 11. The lowest I've seen is 7. Most people are really good, healthy people are in their 20s and 30s. Like 11 is like close to a world record. It's really good. The glyc-A is 311. It should be less than 300. So a little bit of inflammation, infection going on. Probably still some residual something there, but really not bad at all. And then the small HL particle number is 20.6. It should be above 19. So you don't have much toxicity at all. You have like zero toxicity. And then the MMX, that's the metabolic malnutrition index, is 45. And that should be upper 40s, lower 50s. So again, that's really, really good. So let me go through this one by one. Citrate should be 200. I'm sorry. Valine should be 200. You're at 212, so that's excellent. Leucine should be at 110, so yours is at 102. That's excellent. The isoleucine should be at 55, and you're at 34. So that one should come up a little bit. So that'll be, a B1 deficiency can make that isoleucine too low. So stay on the B1. And that citrate is really good. It should be 1.6 to 2.0, so you're right on the nose for that. So it's really good. So it's so good to have these excellent results, especially after all the work you do, and you can see it in the test. It's like time to celebrate, So let me get rid of that double screen. And I'm talking to my patients like, oh my God, look how good you're doing with this. But you got to do this next thing to get better. Here's Sharon saying, sent ropeworm to normal doctors. They told me I was healthy and it wasn't a worm. I saw it move. It's crazy how regular doctors think that parasites are some kind of a figment of your imagination. And it moves, right? Like The first time I had a patient get rid of a parasite, she was sitting on the toilet and it wasn't coming out. She had to pull it out with her fingers. And she put it on the bathroom countertop and it started to crawl away like this. It started to crawl away. She put it into a baggie and she brought it in to show me. That's parasites. Like you take that to you could film that. You could put that, film it with your camera and show your doctor. They'll say, oh, it's not a worm. So Less is More is asking about Dr. Andrew Campbell's mold detox protocol. He uses a drug called, what is it? It begins with the letter I. And he says you don't have to detox mycotoxins. You just kill the mold. And he's got good results. It takes 6 months. So when I called up his associate and they gave me a free consultation, she said, oh, itraconazole is the name of the drug. She goes, itraconazole can harm the heart. And like that's been my symptoms, heart. So I would not ever do itraconazole. So I can't do his protocol. And there's other people that can't do his protocol for that reason. So don't tell him I said that because he'll attack people on stage. He'll be on stage yelling at the audience member, attacking that person. So don't tell him I said that. Does mold toxicity make you really thin long term? It does. It can make you lose weight. It can make your B1, it can cause B1 deficiency, which makes you feel full. And then you can't eat because you're not hungry. And then when you do eat, you can't digest the food because of the B1 deficiency. It's called cachexia. I experienced this last year with the gas leak. I made breakfast 2 mornings in a row and I couldn't eat it. It's like, what? I'm not hungry. And then I had dinner. I made dinner and I couldn't eat it. Terrible. I lost like 7 pounds, 8 pounds. And then I found B1. It saved my life. In an hour, I was breathing easier. It's so crazy. Right? Kevin says, if only we could have seen your score when we started, probably in the 50s or 60s. Cayenne pepper gets rid of parasites? No, there's all kinds of hearsay about herbs that kill, oregano and on about killing parasites. You got to have a combination of herbs and just go with Para 1, Para 2 from Cellcore. Nothing beats those two. I'm telling you, I'm 30 years of doing this. And then Para 3. Para 1 and 2 is for the gut. Para 3 is for the rest of the body. So, neuropathy, rheumatoid factor. Rheumatoid factor is 10, is normal, mild, moderate. I can't even tell you. Rheumatoid factor, you got to look at your lab. It should tell you. Different labs have different normal ranges. Gabriella has a really good question. Does it mean that Kevin has genetically great detox genes? Probably, possibly. Or maybe the supplements were amazing. But there's this idea, it's called CIRS, C-I-R-S, Chronic Immune Response Syndrome, or something like that. Chronic Inflammatory Response Syndrome. And people say, oh, I can't detox because I have CIRS. No, not true. You can detox. You just got to take the right supplements. So Nan says neuropathy. Neuropathy is fixed with B1, benfotiamine. But then you got to find the cause. So I had neuropathy with mold. I also had neuropathy with gas leak. So you got to find the cause and fix the mechanism. Take B1, high doses B1. I have a guy with Guillain-Barré syndrome, and he's numb from belly button down. Severe, 9 out of 10. B1 fixed it in 6 months, like fantastic, or maybe 8 months. It's fantastic. How long have I been talking? I feel really good because I had 2 T-bone sticks for dinner. My energy's up. People are telling me I look healthy. Look. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going because I feel good, and the steak is making me happy. You guys have good questions. Jeff says I did MVX Plus Friday. What's the turnaround time? 7 days. Do we all have great detox No. Okay, Gabriel. So some people have good detox genetics and some people don't. Yeah, so there is a factor that some people can't detox well. Their liver doesn't work well, their mitochondria. So, and a lot of it could be just simply the genetics for B1 are off. You can't store it, you can't transport it, you can't use it. So either way, then you take higher doses of B1 and you take other detox products. So do you do all the same time, para 1, 2, and 3? No, you do para 1 and 2 together, then you do para 3 separate. You probably have SIRS because you can't detox, not the other way around. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. Can you help female baldness? There's going to be some factors there that need to be discovered, like deep down detoxing organisms, candida. I would start with MVX plus. Um, questions. What are signs of not absorbing B1? I have 5 slides. Each slide has at least 25 symptoms. So there's over 100 symptoms of not absorbing B1. It's like everything. What about ALS? Linda, oh my gosh. I'm sure you'd probably recommend this test for them. Yeah, with I've never treated it. I did. I treated one ALS person. Okay, deep neurological conditions like that, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, I still would approach it the same way. As a matter of fact, I got a guy now with Parkinson's. He's been with me 10 years. He just started slowing down in the fall, and he's staring into space, like tunnel vision staring. And he realizes he can't break free from that gaze into the space. And his reflexes are slow, and he's eating really slow. So I ran MVX. His score was 45. Now it's 40, so he's getting better. And it told us to detox, and now he's detoxing. The last time I saw him, he said he knows, and he can break away from that gaze. So he's snapping out of it. So that's great. That's Parkinson's reversing. It's crazy great. His brother, oh my gosh, has symptoms of Alzheimer's. He asked the same question 5 times in a row, and that's stopping too. Keith, hey, when is your class in your office? That was yesterday. You missed it. Roshan says, do you like to test for genetic or epigenetic issues? Definitely the epigenetics. Absolutely, because that's what MVX is. You can control these 6 factors. That's epigenetics. I don't test genetics. I think it's a red herring. And I think there's Gary Brecka, his whole company's based on genetic testing. And then you optimize genetics with their supplements. But wait, what if you have tapeworms? What if you have mold, Lyme, candida, bacteria, toxins, chemicals, plastic? You can optimize you're going to optimize your genetics in the presence of all these toxins? No, get it straight. Detox. Peter says, hi, first time caller. I'm assuming you just dated yourself, Peter. Nobody says that. First time caller, long time listener. I'm assuming tinnitus would be on the low B1 list. Tinnitus, okay, I've never found a supplement that fixes tinnitus, but the ketogenic diet has multiple times. The ketogenic diet is the best thing for tinnitus. Joseph says, I have chronic sinus issues. Do I still need para 1 and 2? Absolutely. And then para 3? No, you got to clean out the gut first, because para 1 and 2 is step 4, and then para 3 is step 5. You got to do step 4 before you do step 5. Patient direct code at SoCore? Question. Keith says, just finished 19 days sauna. Oh, nice. Yeah. That's a killer. A killer in a good way. That's great. TikTok is trying to kick me off. Max was 33. Max what Max was 33? Baby says score 55, have rheumatoid arthritis, how to help rheumatoid. Okay, same thing, you got to find the cause. Oh, your score was 33. That's good. Baby, okay, so what's your cause of rheumatoid arthritis? It could be, I'm going to show you the screen again. It could be your diet. It could be organisms living in the joints of your thumb. That'd be like step 4 and 5 or 7. It could be Lyme. I've reversed rheumatoid arthritis. And step 7, Lyme. It could be toxicity causing the organisms to thrive. So then that, see, you got to look at it 7 steps. That's your answer. There's not one answer. What does a consultation cost? Call the office, and there's different prices for different consultations. But what I want to say is this. So doctors will look for the diagnosis. And this is true of my favorite holistic doctors too. I love these people, but they're only looking for the diagnosis when, again, there's 7 steps. There should be 7 diagnoses maximum, and there's got to be multiple, it could be malnourishment and toxicity and inflammation and B1 deficiency and. It's never one diagnosis. Never. For complex chronic illness, it's multiple. So now I'm getting worked up. Does sauna kill parasites in the gut? No. Have you had success with MS patients? Yes. And your 7-step blueprint? Yes. I know a young woman on treatments and would love to help her. Yeah. I use a steam room. Is it just as good as a sauna? You got to sweat. The steam room is, it makes you feel like you're sweating because you're all steamy, but you got to get the sweat out. It is never one cause either. Right. It's multiple layers or issues. Yeah. Multiple layers of issues. Yeah. Does ivermectin kill parasites? Yeah, but it doesn't kill worms. It only kills the small ones. The anti-parasitic drugs don't do a very good job with worms like this or this or ropeworms. You got to do para 1 for that. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to log off. It's 10:09 where I live. So thanks for joining me. And maybe next Sunday I'll be doing the same. I'm trying to go live once a month. And Corey, Cellcore versus Biocidin. Cellcore owns Biocidin. The company bought Biocidin. So both. I sweat a lot in the steam room. Good. I thought you said I swear a lot. You swear a lot in the steam. Okay, good. John Anson. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Gabriella. Okay, cool. Okay, thanks. Catch you later. Call the office if you want to be a patient. And keep watching my videos. And I got a bunch of ebooks. I got the regular book on Amazon Kindle. I don't know, it's up there in the corner. I got a ton of free information and paid courses and stuff. Okay, good. I gotta go. Okay, see ya. Okay, bye.